Woof! It's me, Bad Dog, planning our next vacation. Whenever we can fly somewhere. I doubt, but yeah. Today on Two Dogs Digs, welcome everybody. We're talking about selling your memories. Now, I know that sounds terrible. Probably sounds really terrible, but we're not talking about it in a bad way. We're talking about it in a good way, because memories of your vacations spark joy. But some of the crap you have from your vacations, you don't need to have anymore. And wouldn't it spark just a little bit more joy if you could all of a sudden get some money for some of that stuff that you've got? So that's what we're talking about today. And we're going to focus on a few things that we've sold, some other things that we've found and sold, and actually stuff we've even bought from other people's places from their vacations and sold. We're going to show you some categories that actually do surprisingly well, and maybe even spark you to think about some of the things you may have sitting around, as we talked before, about might be sitting in your junk drawer, might be sitting in a folder somewhere, might be just buried, but you don't, or might be like with us and our artwork from every time we went to New York City and saw a Broadway show, where we have so many now that and 30 or 40 of them are not framed. So we bought them for a reason, but they're really not sparking that much joy when they're sitting somewhere, but they could be money. And if they could be money, that will, again, spark a little bit of joy. So thanks to everybody who's joining us here. A quick thank you to everybody for joining us here who are Kennel Club members, and those of you who threw that extra little bit of support behind us this weekend, now that we've shut down the resellers group and focusing all our efforts now on YouTube and on the Kennel Club. So if you notice, there's a few people beside here that I'm going to try and yell out a say hello to. Rick Belage. Hi, Rick. No. He's there, over there. Hey, Claire and Charlene. Hi, Ann. Not a member, but hello to you. And hi, Holly. And I'm going to see if I can go up here and see if I can catch anybody else. And Rebecca. And Diana, thank you for coming. And I see you everywhere, Rick. Greg. Dax, who is killing it on eBay, especially with his Mark Twain photo, or Mark Twain print tile that he's already got a $500 bid for. Amazing, Dax. I don't think I said Lisa. Hello, Carl, up in Ottawa. And hello, Dawn, and Dawn's mom, who's probably watching as well, and Marianne, and Lisa. I'm not going to get everybody. Scott, Christine. I'm going to miss people because Rick didn't do what he was supposed to. Mr. Brian, thanks for popping in from Chicago. Heather.
Hi, Sherry.
Sherry. No musical numbers. And the reason there's no musical numbers anymore,
I forbid it,
is actually it's twofold. Hey, Brenda. It's twofold reason. Hello, Janet. Why we're not doing, and Heidi, why we're not doing the musical numbers, and Diana N. And Mr. Michael Freed, who's a new member. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining us here on the Kennel Club. Bat. So the reason, see, I knew it. Mom says hi. Hey, Joel. Hi, Sonia, as well. If I get a chance, I'm going to try and show you something that Joel sent me that's a really interesting way of packing. I'm going to try and remember to get to that. If I forget about it, I promise I'll talk to you later about it. But no, we're not doing musical numbers anymore. Why are we not doing musicals? Because sometimes when people go to watch this show on YouTube, if they're not watching live and they tune in afterwards, YouTube may suggest it. And what we did was we took a look back at a number of our recent shows, especially the longer ones, and even a couple of shorter ones where we started out with a song. And what we found out was that 40% of the people tuned out within 8 seconds after I started singing. So we decided, let's keep the people tuned in for as long as they can, hopefully. So maybe the singing isn't a place for us to do. But we still are going to have fun because we love all the fun that we have with all you guys here at Two Dogs Digs on Tuesday nights. Might be Wednesday nights too. We're going to possibly change it up, and we might change up to 9 p.m. to make it a little more fair to all our West Coast folks as well, because we got a vote going on right now in the Kennel Club. So just as a reminder, the Kennel Club is the support for us here on Two Dogs Digs, and it's $3.99 a month. And for that $3.99 a month, you get loyalty badges next to your name. You get custom emojis you can use, and those are things like, these are the loyalty badges, or those are the emojis. So cha-chings and off the rails and dice rolls. So all these extra little things. You've got the Kennel Club loyalty badges. So new members have a little paw. And some people are almost hitting the 6-month mark now, even though we started in October. But we got a lot of pink little collars out there. And with that, again, you'll end up with getting exclusive videos that we're doing. So we're going to be doing woofs at least one every 2 weeks, which is our equivalent of a watch out for or a bolo. Maybe a second channel, yeah. Maybe I'll try it on Instagram. Yeah, I know. But if I'm trying to make sure that other people get to see more, I don't want them tuning out right off the bat. So we never know. I might do a song here or there, but not to start off our shows anymore. Plus, I always forgot about it until the last minute anyway. So if you're in a kennel club, you'll get woofs, you'll get pop cultures. We got a new pop culture, I think, going up. We've got a new woof going up this week, Rick. We're going to have some challenges that are in there, including challenges that are some thrifter to throw it's where it's just a picture and I see if you would thrifter to throw it, and we'll let you know. Hey, Becky, thank you so much for joining. Yay! Thanks for coming on here too, and supporting us here. And well, we might. Yeah. Again, we can try and see if we can start it. Be a very small channel. Hey, Gail, I didn't see you joining in. So there's a few of those things in there, and we actually are going to be doing a challenge with Kennel Club members that's coming up. We're just going to pick the 3 that are coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to have the $25 thrifting challenge. So what that's going to be is 3 or 4 of the folks in the Kennel Club and me, we're all going to go to our own individual thrift stores, and you're going to have to buy $25 worth of stuff in one shot on one bill with no discounts. And then we're going to do a live show with our guests. Will be live, or the other 3 or 4 people who are thrifting, and we're going to see what other people can find for $25 wherever they happen to be. Doesn't matter if you're in Canada or US or anything. The only thing we think is to make it fair. Like, we can't have somebody go, oh, I've gone to some place that's doing a 50-cent day, and then they come with 50 items. So to make it fair, it's $25, no discounts, no coupons, no senior discounts, nothing like that, no dollar day specials. It could be one item that's $25. That's amazing. It could be 10 items that are $250. You never know what it could be. But I think that would be a lot of fun, seeing what people want to do. Then we're also going to do another challenge just after that, which is a profit pile dig. And we're trying to figure out how to do that so that everybody doesn't have to worry about how much something paid. So those are going to be fun new shows that are coming up, probably on a bi-weekly kind of basis. But for today, it's all about selling your memories. Oh God, see, I started singing. Why? I started singing. Sherry still has her birthday from Penelope Doodle Trousers. Yes, I think that's just it. It's unappreciated, even by that one over there a lot of times. So when we're talking about we're talking about vacation memories, it means that you're not going to try and sell things like this. This is me. Look, I had hair. Look, I was thin. Look, Jessica Rabbit couldn't keep her arms off me. And I scared the heck out of Roger Rabbit. Disney is one of our favorite places to go. We have tons of Disney memories. We have been probably 40 times, we believe, to Disney World. We have collections of things that we call Vinyl-mations that they don't make anymore, which are Mickey Mouse size things. We have been to Disneyland a couple of times, but Florida and Disney World 40 plus times. We've been to Vegas way too much as well. Not recently, but we used to go to Vegas 3 or 4 times a year for weekends. So we had lots of trips where we were doing stuff like that. We go to New York, or we used to, at least 2 or 3 times a year, and go kicking ass at Broadway shows. Not that we were going to shows. So we would go on a Wednesday, and we'd see a Wednesday night show, Thursday night show, or Wednesday matinee. We'd arrive in the morning. Wednesday matinee, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday matinee, Saturday night, Sunday matinee, fly home. I'm not kidding. We planned for that. We always did it right before the Tonys. And every trip we went, we bought stuff. And lots of stuff we actually found we haven't looked at in ages. And so we started thinking about that. And we actually started selling things that we had. We started selling things that we brought back from Disney. And it all started actually a few years back when I found a paper bag with some bumper stickers that I got when I was 14 years old on my first trip to Disney with my parents. And I found out that people wanted to pay me for those bumper stickers. And strangely enough, unfortunately, I don't have the screen cap from it. Somebody wanted to pay me $20 for a paper bag. That's it. It was literally this big paper bag. And they paid $20 for it. And I went, oh my goodness. Time to start looking. So again, I'm not going to sell the pictures of me with hair. I'm not going to sell things like this, which is a tourist memory for me because I know I bought this Star Wars Tatooine glass at Disney World on the last trip that we were down there from. And so it's kind of a souvenir to me. As you also know, we collect a lot of stuff, and one of the big things that I've collected over the years are these things behind us here. And these were other people's souvenirs, and what they were, and I've talked a little bit about them in the past, but what they are actually years ago, kids, for those of you who may be a little on the younger side. TV shows were done in front of real live studio audiences way back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even into the 80s. And when you wanted to go to a show, you actually had to get the ticket. You had to order a ticket. And it could be a ticket for anything at all, but it was like you needed to get the tickets in order to go in somewhere. So I'm just going to show you the things that are behind me are some of the tickets that we have. And the oldest one I have is actually, I think it's this one. I'm not sure it is. It's from, I think it's from 1950 something, 1958. This is the older ticket. So I'm going to just flip on to see if I can get this showing up right on here. Where are you, Apnir? Why are there watermarks showing all over this, Rick? I guess I can't do anything about that. Because now it's like watermarks, join to or remove the watermark from the center of this. Because that's what's showing up all over the screen on the watermark. So I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, which I'm going to have to show you, and hopefully don't blur anything out. This is actually for a show called Queen for a Day, and no, it's not about my life. It is actually a show. It was a game show where women would write in to potentially say, I wish that I could be queen for a day because this is all the wrong and bad stuff that's happening in my life, so can you make me queen for a day? And this is the actual ticket for where you actually have to fill out on the back of it. I live in a house, an apartment, a trailer, a hotel, or a motel. I'm married, single, widowed, separated, or divorced. And my family consists of, now look at this, number of boys and girls, and they've ages, there's room for 10. So you could put 10 children on here and say, please help me. Please give me a vacation or something along those lines. But not only that, these are the type of things that you need to get tickets for, and I just love some. The delightful Miss Winslow and Son, I have no idea. From the producers that brought you Three's Company, well, I guess that one didn't run very long. But you know, Password with Alan Ludden, Betty White's husband, did. I got tickets for Dareford Nights. The Mary Tyler Moore Show, the actual Mary Tyler Moore Show, 1974. This is an actual ticket for that. Another Password one. Tim Conway. And then I see Rick's waving something. I'm just going to show a few more of these just to see. The Lola Falana special with guest stars Red Fox and special guest star Dick Van Dyke. I've got two for Lola Falana. From the delightful creators of Laverne and Shirley, the Lovebirds. Some of these shows I've never heard before. What's Happening, if you remember that. The Tony Randall Show. Alice, starring Linda Loveland. Now, all of these were things that were in people's garages. Benson with Robert Gibbon. Everything up there. Game shows, talk shows, all of these pictures. I bought every one of these because I never went to these because somebody else's vacations, they didn't want to keep them anymore. And strangely enough, they're still quite popular. In fact, if we do a quick pop onto eBay right now, I'm going to get rid of this other thing that's useless to me and go over to here. I'm going to show you right now, if you go into the TV tickets, where do I go? If you go into the TV tickets and you look them up on eBay right now, look at this. Full House, $25 for a ticket. The Perry Como Show from 1953, $19 a ticket. TV game show, It's News to Me, $19. What About Joan? Raymond Burr. So look at that. This is actually how I used to buy them, but I would actually buy them in a lot of cases like this. Here's talk shows for Dinah, Merv, Mike Douglas, and Kay Lang for $9.95. So this is actually the kind of thing that I really like on here. Is I pick them up and they frame really well and they're very interesting. But they are, again, it's somebody's vacation memory. Now, Rick, you said you're waving, you're like something.
Oh no, just a comment on Right Made. She thought that they were thrift store tags.
What?
Your audience tickets.
Oh, those? Well, that would be a new one. I could actually try and do that too. Why? And Becky said, well, I'm trying to look younger. Is it working? I don't think so. But thank you. It's not naked, it's youth. It's my youth. So here's, again, I want to show you some of the things. Pilot season, yes. Thank you. They are. What's a Tim Con? That's a Tim Con way. Oh, jeez. I need a washer and dryer. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we've sold as well before we get into this. So let's take a look back here. These are items that we actually currently have listed. So we currently have listed Swizzle Sticks. So some of these things you might think, oh yeah, I guess that's it's a souvenir thing, right? So it's Swizzle Sticks. We got lots of them. We have singles. We actually found that the Vegas places actually are doing good when we bulk them up. We've actually sold 3 lots of these dunes for $14.88 a piece. We sold one of these. We have this one listed right now. This is Miner's Gems. Now, if you think, this isn't really touristy, is it? Well, it is, because it's actually something that you, on cruise ships, you go, we didn't buy this. We actually bought this from an estate that we just recently cleared out in September. And it's people who went on cruise ships, and those cruise ships, they went and actually bought this Caribbean treasure coin collection on one of the trips. So this happened to be their cruise to Alaska. And they actually bought 3 of these from 3 different trips that they were on. Another Vegas thing, and we have this from the Four Queens Hotel in Vegas, Four Queen Casino. Concert stubs are a good thing too. Yeah, this is a KLM route map. Now, again, I just don't know if you think about those kind of things and think that these are the type of things, not only concert passes, ticket stubs. We actually have sold other people's, we happen to get a whole bunch of crew patches from, it was a shoebox that we picked up at a flea market that was filled with all these crew patches from about, 200 different places in the 80s and 90s. So we've actually sold, and we paid $20 for the batch. So again, a lot of people don't think either that their souvenirs are worth anything. And that's the great thing from our standpoint as a reseller. So when you go and find some of those things, that's what you do. You look for that. Mandy, she sold her Expo 86 passports. And actually, I see that Lisa said, I have some old boarding passes I snagged when doing a house clearance. And again, people may even throw these out. That's the great thing too, when you actually are going and looking at a lot of times it's an estate sale, but you might seem to find this, especially if somebody's trying to clear some stuff out. You may find it at thrift stores, not as much, but some of the other stuff you will. Let me show you some of the things we've sold so that you, again, get you thinking about the types of things that you've sold. This is actually the menu cover only for a restaurant in Hawaii that was framed, and we sold this for $50. This is the Yamoto San Francisco restaurant. It's their menu. It's a menu from the 1960s. We sold this. We've got this at an estate sale. We sold this for $20. Ima or Waima Sumac, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. This is actually a little thing that was for a nightclub in New York City. So she performed in this nightclub in New York City, and this is actually just a little tent card that sat on the table that somebody took home from them. We sold this for $20. It's only this big. It was sold for $20 in less than a week. When we were down in Sydney ourselves, we picked up these Sydney Olympic beanbags at the Disney store in Sydney. We just sold these for $38, 21 years later. And in fact, one of the things we got to figure out what we're going to do with is another one of our things. This is, talked about our Sydney trip. This is our Sydney pin bag. Now, if you ever go to the Olympics, Olympic pin trading is gigantic. And what we did is this entire thing is literally filled with pins. These are the pins that you would go and try and trade. So we had pins from Canada, and we would go up to somebody who's like, oh, I've got a Canada pin. I'll trade you for an NBC pin. But this entire thing is filled because the goal was to try and get certain pins from certain countries every day. So this is all us. This is just me trading. Rick thought this is 21 years ago, and I was already a nut going, let me trade for this. I want this. Some of them are like even still on their card. So we're looking at this thing going, we look at it every 2 to 3 years and then go, what are we doing with this kind of thing? Why do we care about this kind of thing? Well, you don't want to throw it out, right? But you don't necessarily want to keep it. But it's still something that we might have thought about selling. And if I can find where I had the thing set up, I actually, where did I put it? I did search for this actually, and there are people who are buying pins. In some cases, they're actually not even cheap for those kind of pins.
You might want to show that bag again. Peter Beatty said they make bags for pins. That was for the Olympics.
Yeah, this was actually just the official souvenir pin bag. It's a pin collector's case. And if you're a Disney person, you know as well, they make pin bags just for Disney. There are tons of, there are people who have these that are literally like, it's like a little mini binder. Like there, like so that you can keep them all safe. Loose ones, foam so you can pin them in so the backs don't catch against each other. This is the set that I think will get some good money. The little girl, the ladies in the bathing suits. But yeah, that's, there's more than one, like it keeps, and then the felt actually keeps them from scratching each other as well. So when they're closed on top of each other, they don't scratch on other things. So, sorry, it's not the best way for me to do it, but Rick is just sitting over there watching me struggle and going, "Oh, you go do it." But yes, and pins again are the type of thing. Disney pins from collecting. Those are all sorts of different things that people may end up having. Julie, that 10 big zipper holder bags. Yeah, so there's lots of those. Now, a lot of people are going to immediately go, I'm going to show you, sorry, two more things that I wanted to show you that we sold past the Disney thing. Or past the, in the past. This is Fantasy Island. Now, this is so local that most of you probably don't know about it, unless you happen to be from Southern Ontario. So Joel, or upstate New York, Joel will know about it because he's just across the border from this. And Witchy will know about it, and Diana Ann will know about it. Probably Brenda, because this is a little tiny place that was for us, the biggest thing over the entire summer. It was basically a very, very tiny amusement park. And this actually is from the 60s. This is in Grand Island, New York, and it was from the 60s. And we found this when we were down in the States and at a garage sale for $25. And we sold this for $20 to somebody in Grand Island, New York. So it went back from Buffalo with us and then went back down to Buffalo. And finally, this is one of the other things that's so wild is this is a map of Rome. This is a map from 1982 of Rome and the city of Rome, showing all of Rome and all the streets of Rome. And we listed it for $48 US, and it sold to someone in Rome. So we ended up selling a Rome map that came from Rome to Canada, bought it in Canada. 40 years later, we sold it back to somebody in Rome for $50. And we didn't pay $50 for it. So that's the kind of things that I want you to think about. $1. So they might be reopening again. Yeah, they look like they closed because of COVID. You never know. But yeah, so a lot of local places too. So Chicago had Riverview. There's also places like Action Park, which has a great name and a great documentary if you haven't seen it. Basically, Action Park was an amusement park with absolutely no rules whatsoever, where people got hurt and some people actually died. If you want to see, there was actually a movie that was made sort of like it by the guys from Jackass. But again, those are the kind of things that people look for. So again, I'm going to quickly talk to you about a few of the bigger things. So New York City, you got, first thing, you got your normal things from New York City, everything from the Empire State Building to us buying giant things like this. This is Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. It's one of our favorite Broadway shows ever. It lasted 6 weeks. 6 weeks? No, 6 months. And Laura Benanti was in it, and she should have won a Tony, and Patti LuPone. The Addams Family with Nathan Lane and Bebe Neuwirth. It was a good show. It lasted a little while. Promises with Sean Hayes and Kristen Chenoweth, and we have everybody's signature on there. Why? Because every once in a while in New York, they do things for the Actors Fund, for AIDS help. It's the Actors Equity. And at shows, they would actually sell these extra things at the end of a show to try and make some extra money. So signed by the entire cast, including Sean Hayes and Kristen Chenoweth. We don't have this on display. This is in a box in the basement. Wishful Drinking with Carrie Fisher, her last show before she passed away. Hilarious Broadway show. And a great movie, too. A big blank page. Why is that a big blank page? Oh, it's because it's just a big plastic thing I was carrying stuff with that I bought for another show we saw with Nathan Lane and Megan Mullally and Rupert Grint and Matthew Broderick and Stockard Channing, called It's Only a Play, that was on a few years ago. And this guy named Mika Stock, who was absolutely hilarious. So that's the kind of thing that we bought. And now we're thinking about selling those kind of things from there. You can also think about the fact that not only are there playbills that you normally would probably see from people, like this is from Big River, but there's also local versions of playbills. Harris in Atlantic City, two from there. There's local school things that you might find. And again, start looking up some of these things, and you may be surprised how much money people were actually looking at spending. So let's just take a look. I got a whole bunch of stuff that's all around here that I'm going to show you that people think postcards. Yeah. People think Disney. Well, okay. Yeah, Disney. But think about all those other places that you could go. So this is from a box we have in the basement right now. It's kind of in our profit piles. It's stuff that we found at flea markets, estate sales, and various things like that over the past couple of years. We pull a few things out of it every couple of months and list them. So as I showed you some of our live listings, right, that we had up there with the Swizzle Sticks and things like that. The Boeing route map was from this. We also have like NASA space shuttle photos. We have a soap dish that's from the Sheraton on Fifth Avenue, like still in its little package. So, and then Rick has this thing that he's walking over here, but just in case we ever needed a map.
A map of outer space.
We haven't been there. That's kind of not touristy, but
a map of the moon.
I'm gonna put him there. Do I worry about selling signed items without a COA? I've been avoiding them because I'm worried about the buyer claiming they were not real and getting a strike. In general, Peter, we don't worry about that. Especially in the case of the Broadway type things, they're very well known as being signed. We also just say that like there's no COA, so we aren't guaranteeing it. I actually have autographs from when I was a kid that my mom got, and I just found some autographs. My dad used to meet people on planes, and he has John Diefenbaker's autograph, and I'm going to put that up for like $15-20, and it's on the back of a political flyer. So we're putting it up and we're just leaving it like that. We're not worrying. I think if you were looking in the hundreds of dollars, that's possible. If you're looking at with trading cards or things like that, that might get a little wary without having a COA. We have a Hulk Hogan signed card. I'm just going to put it up without getting it authenticated, just because it's taking so long to get things authenticated by some of the companies that do that. Claire says she has a visitor book for sale on the Okanagan Game Farm, which was in business for only about 29 years. So yeah, now some of these things, that's true. That's a perfect example, Claire, is there's things that are so unique, it may take a little while for them. When you were looking for things like that, I'm surprised that Grand Island, New York thing sold, but it sold within a few months. Well, it's because there happened to be somebody looking for it. It's the same with postcards. Some people buy and sell postcards. Like, I don't know how many people, where'd my postcards go? Oh, here. I don't know how many people are actually still interested in these, but a lot of the things, the other thing is they're really simple. A lot of things are really, really simple to ship, and they're cheap to ship. But like, these are postcards from, I don't know who wants a Minnesota Monument postcard, especially when they're used postcards. These are postcards that were extra long that we bought from someplace called the Idaho Springs, Colorado. And I just bought them because I thought, oh, these are neat. They were like 50 cents a piece for these really long postcards that had never been used. But I don't know how fast these are going to sell. But again, they don't take up a ton of space. It's easy to sell. It's easy to ship. So it's really, for us, it's a great thing to try and think about. A lot of souvenirs are easy to ship. And a lot of this stuff is also in that paper ephemera world. So let's take a look at some of the stuff we found that we are actually going to list that you probably, again, wouldn't necessarily think about. Actually, Panoramic should sell, Scott is saying. Holly just sold a blue trifold Keith Haring postcard. Yes, so when there's something weird, that's got an extra even link to it. So you may find that. Artists can want them for decoupage and everything like that. Oh, well, since Binsby sells postcards on Etsy. Let's see if I got anything else. Claire saying, go. Oh, Greg said go higher on that. Danny Sailor postcards, 3 lots and 1 lot on eBay. I don't know who Danny Sailor is. I'm not sure if that's a booze or not. But here's some other things I'm just going to show you. This is from this lot of stuff that you can think about. I want you to think about. So let's start out actually with something easy. So everybody talks about Disney. So we've got everything, and this is the kind of stuff you can find, especially when you're looking. This is a Disney vacation information pamphlet from just staying there. I think this might have been one of our vacation information pamphlets. Here's an interesting thing. These are actually old Disney cards. Now, for staying there, this is actually the passes, the Disney World passes from 1999. I'm not sure. These may very well get some money in them. Maps and guidebooks from what was happening on that week in there, because somebody may actually want to recreate them, what was happening. They may want to keep memories of them. Programs, another complete guide. Then there's even a road atlas that we've got in here. And in fact, road atlases and maps are also easy to find, and in some cases easy to sell. Like, look at all these different kinds of things you can find. Everything from, I showed you that one we had for Rome. Again, how easy is this to throw into an envelope and ship? In Canada, you can do it and throw it in with stamps. If you want to send it to the States without tracking, if it's under $20, why not send it without tracking? If it's something that was yours and you lose and it ends up that the person says I didn't get it, don't worry about the tracking. Or start a new account on eBay and focus on all the stuff that you don't want to have tracking on. So all the stuff that's light, so it doesn't hit you in the top rated seller status. Here's something else we found, which is just a room service menu. Now, some of the things about these are hard, though. This is hard to date. That's the biggest challenge that we're finding in a lot of these things, is trying to figure out how old some of these actual items are. And we're Carl says, I wonder who buys all this treasure. A lot of people do, actually. That's the funny thing, that a lot of people just got. Brenda just got a bunch of maps from the 50s. So I'm going to show you some other things. Actually, I'll see Anne-Marie's question.
Yeah, she has a question.
Anne-Marie has a question. I bought a bunch of booklets off the baggy wall because it had a small book about Hawaiian dancing. It's marked on the inside with a $1 pen. Would you mark it out?
No.
Rick says no.
I disclose it.
It depends on what it is. See, this is where we get tricky. If I found something, because sometimes you'll find something, we've actually found a little batch of stuff that was somebody tried to sell as a reseller, and every single thing had a price in it. And the problem is, if you're trying to say I want $20 for it, and then there's a price written on it. So what I may do is that dollar, I may actually black the whole thing out so you can't even see if it's in pencil, I'd try and erase it. But I would personally black it out and show it that it's blacked out, so people can't see whatever was written there. They won't know if it's a price or an initial or anything like that. Rick, on the other hand, see, no one necessarily, everybody doesn't agree. But you could try and do whichever way you think about it. Scott bought 80 pounds of stamps last month, not sure why. And the seller threw in a milk crate filled with maps. Yay! Yes, it can sell as props, all sorts of different things. And I wonder if I can see if I can find this. I got something to show you folks, but Rick, can you send me a message on that thing? Or if I have to find it, or where did I put it? I have to look for that thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Discounter was just talking about TV props, so I thought I'd show them that thing that we sold. So
Okay.
Scott's saying, don't mark it out. It's an old price.
Yeah.
Could put a sticker over it. True, Holly. That could be something that you end up doing. But yeah, make sure you show it. I've thought about that too, making the dollar into 107 or something like that, or 1070. But it's just, there's lots of different ways. Again, you don't want to spend tons of time on it. So to me, it's just take a little black marker and mark it out. But again, that's what I do. Doesn't mean that you do it. I'm going to show you a bunch of things that you're thinking about. We're going to pop back and forth between some ideas that we're getting from eBay and some ideas that we may have from the stuff that we have here. I showed you all the stuff we had from Magic Kingdom. But here's some other things that you may think about, or I want you to think about. Matchbooks. Yes, matchbooks. Why? Because people still collect matchbooks. There's still a lot of people who do them. There may not be as many people smoking as there used to be, but people do collect matchbooks for sure. So this, and I'm just going to show you, this is a lot of 2,500 matchbooks for $355. When I went and took a look on eBay for matchbooks, take a look at the kind of numbers these are getting. There are over 43,000 sold matchbook lots on there. This is just matchbooks on its own. Some are singles. Look at this. The Polynesian Paradise in Cucamonga, $425, 14 bits for one matchbook. Like, that's how much some of these things can go for. So again, don't think, it can't be worth anything. 430 matchbooks, $305. So we actually had a bunch of them. And this is really, I'm talking more so about the souvenir kind. There are more different kinds of matchbooks than souvenir versions of it. But even that, look, vintage feature matchbook, Kelbo's, 21 matchsticks, and full. So in case you're wondering what a feature matchbook is, a feature matchbook means that when you actually open the matchbook, instead of blank matches, it actually has stuff inside them. So there's this, and here's what's meant by a feature. That's what the matches look like. So they're not plain. They have images on them. That's what a feature matchbook is. So if you're ever looking at your matchbooks, again, this one got $225. Why? Because it's got a luau on it. And what's it for? It is literally for a place on Sherman Oaks, California, on Ventura Boulevard that probably doesn't even exist anymore. So again, think about that kind of thing. Not only that, sugar cubes. What do you mean sugar cubes? That's stupid. Who would buy sugar cubes? Well, lots of people buy sugar cubes. These are from different places. Like, look at this, the Bell Zoo, the Children's Zoo at Belle Isle, Dominion. This is all a lot of zoo ones that are in here. We've actually sold ones from a lot of different restaurants before. Top Hat Hamburgers, there's one down there. And in fact, again, surprising. It's probably surprising. Actually, you can ship matches. Yes, you can ship matches, Lisa. We do ship them all the time. You have to ship them as surface mail. So as long as they're going surface mail, you're fine with them. You can't ship them by airmail in any way. Yes, Kresge's. But take a look at this. I actually, again, want to show you a couple of things that may surprise you. Not only that, but let's take a look here. I think there was one or two that surprised me when I saw this. $15 for 6 Top Hat hamburger sugar cubes. These are just old sugar cubes. And again, $10 for Toot Shore Restaurant in New York City. 1 sugar cube. That's all it is. 1 sugar cube. So that restaurant is now a preschool. Maybe that's why people want that. Yes, thank you, Peter. Yeah, we love it if you throw the thing up there, the little thumbs up. That would be great. Matches are hot. So sugar cubes. Okay, so what else? Playbills. Well, yeah, and you can see playbills can sell for good amounts of money. Talked about that, but here we are. Road maps. Take a look at this. 142 road maps, $113. 75 road maps, $170. And then sometimes you get into just single maps. A 1966 road map of Malaysia for $81. And not only that, a road to Piney Point. Oh, that's just a paperback with maps for $90. Like, again, this is the kind of thing you just don't want to throw out before you actually take a quick look on there. So this is the other thing again, airline tickets. We have airline tickets like I was showing you here. This is probably going to end up going on, well, this will go on to eBay. This is an authorized travel agent airline ticket set, somebody's airline tickets from a travel agency in Western New York for a trip in 1989 from Buffalo to Chicago, and then from Chicago to LA. So I've got everything in here. I have the American Airlines authorized file folder. So somebody who's an American Airlines fan may like this. Somebody who's an Alamo fan may like this. Somebody who's AAA may like this. There's a lot of other pieces inside here for the tickets. There's copies of tickets again. So this could be something props could use, all that sort of thing. So really, this is probably going to end up being put on there for like $19-20. We would have paid maybe a dime, a nickel, something like that, especially when it's bought with a batch of other things. And we have sold maps. We have right now, as I think I mentioned, this BOAC thing right here, a route map that we have on right now on eBay that we've got ourselves. And it's the route map that you would have picked up sitting inside the plane. So Mandy says she sold all her old airline tickets and folders. Her mom kept everything. See, so good. Airline ticket from the 50s that you need to get listed. I like to list them as auctions first, like I always do, Marianne, with everything. Try and list them first with it as an auction. And personally, I just see Peter said he's at the airport. He should run around and grab stuff from the floors and the garbage. Personally, it's just a thing. I don't know what it's a thing I have. Rick has always thought I'm a little nuts. I list the price at the year that the things are as my start on auction. So a lot of the stuff is listed for that year on auction. So if you actually look at that, you'll see that's 1950 for the KLM. I've got it listed. I did it as an auction, didn't get interest, but it's 1950s KLM route map. So I've listed it at 1950. So if in the case that somebody does want something, the Yima Sumac was 1953. We listed at 1953. It sold at 1953. But we have listed other stuff that's been 1960, 1940, and it's actually sold for more. Or if you do a little research and you find like that Rome map, it was not going to be something we wanted to put up. We wanted to go big on that. So we put the $48 up on that and sold it for $48, even though it was like a 1970s map. I could have sold it for a lot less. I know it's some kind of logic. I don't know what, but it just makes it easy for me when I'm looking at stuff and thinking, what would I want to get for this? Especially if you can't necessarily find a lot of stuff on the research side of things. But let's look at some more stuff. So I've showed you a few different kinds of things. So we've got the Wondrous West. We've got Amazing Vacations. Amazing American Vacations. See the Redcoats and Ride Again. Howard Johnson's in Motor Lodge in Miami Beach. A Greyhound bus time schedule. And this is one of my favorite. Welcome to Jordan Marsh, a map of a mall in Orlando. Like that's, you would, how many of you, first of all, you probably would keep something like this, right? Like I know that when we were kids or when we were young adults or when we'd go to Florida, we used to keep a whole batch. We practically could fill a suitcase with all the paper we brought back from us. We would grab that and then bring it home. And somebody else did. And in this case, I think this is someone else's.
I can't get to the drawer with all of our cruise stuff.
Oh, we have a thing of cruise stuff that's this big. I looked in the drawer beside me. We still have a bunch of $5 things from our old trips to Vegas that I haven't done anything with. Well, some of those could actually be worth money. That's a thing to look up. If you got old chips and you haven't used them, they could be worth a good amount of money. Carlsbad Cavern. Yeah, I think we actually have a brochure for one of those somewhere here too. Not only that, but we also find other things. Like, look at this. This is
my favorite.
This is Rick's favorite that he found just from one. We grabbed like not even a tenth of a shoebox full. Denver Dining from the summer of 1974, and it features Casa Bonita, and it's just all about the Denver area and all of the restaurants that were in there in 1974. So who would want this? I don't know. I haven't looked it up to see if it's worth anything, but since it says 1974, I'm going to put it starting at 1974. It's just, again, that's easy to do something like that. Sometimes you find things like when you're on those vacations, you go to the museums and you go to those museums and what do you grab? Things like this. This is the Distill Museum of Modern Art Bulletin for whenever this actually, and I'm sure that this has got some value to it, kind of like the Keith Haring thing that was mentioned. This is a 1952 bulletin from the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. That cover alone is probably going to be worth $19.52 to me. This is the Corcoran's Gallery of Art School in New York City. And this happened to be, we happen to find that this 3 different photographers' handbooks. So this is Anthony Hernandez and photographs. So they had some kind of show on there. Roy, I don't know who these artists are. Roy DeCarava and John Gossage, Better Neighborhoods of Greater Washington. So these were actually shows. And again, something that somebody picked up on a vacation and now they either don't care, they don't have a use for them, they could have passed on, and it could do stuff that just has to be thrown or tossed, because what are you supposed to do with things like that? You've got to throw it out. And a lot of times, again, there's a souvenir map. There's a World's Fair of 1964, 1965. I also like just taking a look at them too. Like, I love looking at some of the things. This is the deluxe edition of the souvenir map. And see if I can do this and see if Rick will help me. But no, of course, he's just going to stand over there. And this is something that, again, might be frameable by somebody who's a huge New York World's Fair person. I don't want it to rip. It's not unfolding properly. There we go. Now, that is cool. That is really cool. It's probably the first time it's ever been unfolded. That is cool. And we've actually drove by some of those things in the 1965 that are still around in New York City. Now, I'll tell you, there's things like that. Old Disney maps. Oh my God. Some of the old Disney maps. World's Fair stuff is hot. World's Fair stuff is hot. But let me just see if I can show you this one thing as well, which is, I'm going to go into here. Where was I? Airline things. So Disney World map. So there's a map poster from Disney World that I do have the original map. And let's see if I can find, somebody's actually reprinting them. Here it is. I have this poster that's actually been sold for $129. So I've got this myself from one of my trips. And it's the original, like, Magic Kingdom poster with all the original colors on it. So things like that, again, it's something. And yes, you know it, hotel bar soap, yes. Shampoo, yes. Those are things that go crazy. Not only necessarily for the fact that it's, in some cases it could be because it's a good name brand. So you can actually see, I found this in thrift stores even lately in Toronto. When we go around to the things, you'll see a bag on a baggie wall that's filled with a bunch of the sample soaps. But the thing is, some of the nicer hotels may have high-end soaps. So I actually almost bought one, but I thought, no, Rick's going to kill me if I bring this home, of like a whole bunch of Gilchrist and Soames soaps and shampoos and everything like that. And it was a huge bag, and it was $8.99, but it was a gigantic bag full of stuff. And we could sell it. And I looked it up, and they were actually selling. So think about that. That's okay. I understand about shampoo. I do remember it. You remember I had that picture. I had hair. Here, I had hair. It wasn't a lot. It was on the sides. And it was down here. But I had hair. See, there's some hair right there. That's hair. That's not marker. Whether you believe it or not.
That year.
That year? What the heck do you mean that year? Let's show you some more things that you never thought about that you could sell. Have you thought about selling bumper stickers? Well, yes. There's something that a lot of people have from, again, their trips, and here's some of them. I talked about that one, but here's a bunch of the ones that we have. And again, this was something that probably cost us $0.05 a piece. Some of them aren't worth a lot, but if they aren't, we'll put them into a batch. Niagara Falls, Canada. Huh? Quitchy Gorge. Look into it. What the heck I don't even know what half these places are. The Skyline Tower in Niagara Falls. What is this? This is on my screen. On that screen. Oh, on that screen, I have a picture of the Wikiwachi Live Mermaids Florida Travel bumper sticker. And this is just something Rick found, which is just as interesting. This is I don't know why it's on paper, but it is a typed Wikiwachi information sheet with holiday inn rates and an operating schedule. In fact, you can find out that the covered wagon train departs the train depot immediately following each mermaid show. So I don't know what this is. It's not the greatest shape. I don't know if it's been mouse chewed or just rotting because it's paper. But again, something else to think about. What was the other thing it had over there, Rick? It's the Hotel Colorado and a whole bunch of stuff there. So again, just keep thinking about all the different things that you can find, from going to see Joan Rivers and David Brenner in A Love Story. I don't why. I hope they're not in a play or reading love letters. Then going to Fort Myers Beach and Estero Island, seeing Daytona Beach, and then taking the daily program of how to play Jai-Alai in Dania, Florida. I didn't even know there's a place called Dania, Florida. The Kennedy Space Center, NASA things. Look at this stuff. Look at all the stuff that we got. So many different things. the Galleria of South Beach. We got a lot of stuff from Florida here. Palm Springs Host Hotel. City Book from Los Angeles, from American Association Automobile Association. Now, again, whether these are worth something, we don't know necessarily, but I can tell you that I'm going to hold this batch up right here. This batch of stuff in here, I bet you, and I have to take some time to put it all list, I bet you that this whole thing is probably we could at least get $100 for this. Somebody else's memories, I don't care. My memories, well, I mean, yeah, I look at this but every 3 years I look at it and go, oh, I remember going on this vacation. And then I look at it and go, and I put it away again. Scan it. Hold on to it forever. Keep it in a little thing. You don't have to hold on to it to spark joy in any other way other than being able to look at it again. Print it out and frame it. Or decide what you want to do with stuff that you didn't know. This is actually a thrift store find that I actually picked up. Plastic souvenirs from Florida. So you may recognize some of these things. They're so cheap. This one actually says on it, Busch Gardens in Tampa. And I remember these things from when I was a kid. So this is like 1970s. This lovely little lady is from Florida Cypress Gardens. This lovely giraffe is also from Busch Gardens. And I don't know where he's from, but he's half chewed. His feet are chewed. But I thought, okay, this was $1.99. And I just wanted to show you this. This giraffe just sold for $25. So, yeah, actually, I guess maybe you could make them. I remember them, but I don't remember whether we made them. Maybe, is that what they were?
Oh, yeah, it's Moldorama. So it's the machines.
Oh, okay.
Park.
Huh?
They're amusement park machines. Moldorama. You pick the color.
I don't remember what it is. I just saw them and went, I remember these. And now, so there's this little Moldorama from Busch Gardens just sold for $25, literally like last week. So, I mean, he may not sell because he's all broken and I can't tell what he is, or he's missing a foot. Oh, yeah, he's falling apart. Or he might sell. Maybe I'll put two of them together if it's not there. Just saying. Scott says he bought 80 pounds of stamps to break into Max sold lots. Yeah. Lisa's saying she sandwiches stuff between cardboard or heavy card. So for mailing? Yeah. So
Lane asked if they were wrapped in anywhere, just thrown into an envelope.
Oh, okay. Yes. We do wrap them a lot with these things. So especially if it's something that's more delicate, we would wrap it like, this is another one I found, which I thought was really interesting. I have no idea what it's from. Like, look at this. So this is from Expo 67. I have to go back to my main page. This is from Expo 67, and it is the duty-free to going into Canada. So stop at duty-free before you go to Expo 67. Canadian American cigarettes, $2 per carton. Then there's little things like this. I don't even know where this is from. I just think this is so cute. So this is probably from Expo. Tour Japan and get this lovely geisha doll plus extra gifts. And it's some kind of around the world program. I have no idea. But again, little things like that we would put into a hard cardboard piece and drop it into a thing. And depends. If you want to, we put tracking on it. Tracking on something like that would probably be $3 or so. If we have access to a cross-border shipper, you're selling into the US at $3 to $4. If you wanted to throw it into a birthday card with a piece of cardboard inside it and use stamps only, it might cost you $1 or so to ship. So again, doesn't cost you a lot of money. And the little investment you have, if somebody by chance is one of those 1% of the ass hats that's out there that's trying to rip you off because they really want to have, they decided they're going to try and rip you off because they needed to steal your Queen Mary and Spruce Goose Entertainment Center brochure, give them their money back. You didn't lose a lot of money. That's what what we always say. You lost what you put into it and the postage. Yeah, you didn't lose the profit. And if you sent it untracked, you took that extra little risk. But if it's over $20, maybe, and if it's an auction, maybe put it with a $4. We always try and put our auctions and say that automatically like a $5 shipping on that as well. So Lisa says, put something old, put it in a Ziploc. Yep, we do that sort of too. The machines were at Florida Welcome Centers, and she always made them. Well, Janet, do you have any still around? Because if you do, you might be able to get a couple of $100 if you got 8 of them. But Rebecca's saying, have to rewatch. I had to go pick up Girl Guide cookies. Well, you're just going to hopefully see, Rebecca, a whole bunch of things. Girl Guide cookies. A whole bunch of things that you thought I would just toss. A lot of it, again, is paper. And a lot of it is stuff that people go, why would I do this? Why would anybody want to pay for a restaurant menu? Why would anybody want some old matchsticks? Why would anybody want a sugar cube that I found in a drawer? Why would anybody want any of these things? Well, somebody might want them. And if you've got them, you might be able to make a ton of money by flipping somebody else's memories. Or your own, again, or your own. You don't have to do everything of somebody else's. You could flip somebody else's. So that's what the purpose of today was, really talking to you about things that you could find that weren't going to cost you a lot of money, might be able to find in your own sort of world, or might be able to find going to an estate sale. Not so much garage sales. We found most of them at estate sales and flea markets, like shoe boxes full at flea markets or so. But Ricky's got a question?
Oh, no, I'm making a comment.
Oh, Rick is making a comment. Come over here, Rick, and make a comment. Come over here and make a comment. Come over here and make a comment. Come over. You already came on camera once. You came on camera once.
Honey,
oh, I'm in trouble.
You asked me to send you the pictures.
I'm in trouble.
The thing, and you were talking earlier about props.
Oh, I have the thing. I have the thing.
Segue.
This would be a good segue. I just have to. Where do I find the thing?
We were blessed.
I have to find the thing. So hold on a second. Messenger. Let me find the thing. I'm looking in Messenger, and so, but that's not the other thing. I need to find the other picture.
I couldn't find it.
I know. That's why I have to find the other picture. No, it's not. I have to find the other picture. So it's your fault. So one of the things that we're always talking about. See, yeah, he won't do it. Like. He'd like to do this. Come on, Rick. Come on, Scott saying, come on, Rick. So I'm going to show you this one thing that we did. So one of the big things that always is something that resellers always really, really, really want. What do you want as a reseller? You want to sell something to someone that is hopefully going to end up using this on a show. You want to sell something that is hopefully prop worthy. Yeah, if there's any other way, there's no other way to really say it. Something that is prop worthy. And we finally, I got to get this picture up. We finally did. I'm going to try and see if I can show you as much as I can. So here, without further ado, see, how can I do this? I got to go here. No, there. This is what we sold. This hanging decoration. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint as who we sold it to. We sold this hanging decoration. You can see it's like from probably, we're guessing from the 50s, early 60s, late 50s. It actually has never been used before, and it's got this a little bit Asian flair to it, I guess you could call it. This is how Rick packed it all up. So you can see it, and it's literally was listed as a hanging decoration. I think it's flame proof, made in Japan. And what we are thrilled, we're thrilled to the fact that this is going to be going and hopefully seen at some point soon on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Ah! We sent something that's going to be a prop on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Yes, that's actually, we covered the address, but it actually is somebody's name and hashtag Maisel. And they were in New York City, and they said, can you get this to us as soon as you possibly can? But yes, we managed to send a prop to a show. It's kind of like, I think one of the big things that's like, and now, if you watch the show, and you haven't, it's an amazing show. It's on Amazon Prime. At least season 1 and season 2 were amazing. Season 3 was meh. But season 4, I guess we're going to be watching it all. The husband, ex-husband in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel actually has a club. And this is where we believe this is actually going to go. We think it'll be a decoration in there in the club. So we'll be looking for that. And if we ever spot it, we'll make sure we show you what it is. We'll try to find the still. Yeah, I wish we had 20 of them. I probably would have bought all 20 of them. So amazingly enough, thank you so much. We hit the hour. We got 62 people watching. This is one of the largest audiences we've ever had live. Thank you so much. And again, thanks to everybody who gave us that extra little bit of support, who is a member of the Kennel Club here. And always remember, if you are in the Kennel Club, there is a Facebook group there. If you haven't joined it yet, we still have a few people who are Kennel Club members who have not come into the Facebook group, but we're going to have all our posts and everything and focus all our efforts into there, into all the extras that we can give you as Kennel Club members with woofs and pop culture sneak peeks and all sorts of fun and stuff like that. And behind the scenes and all of those things. How much did it sell for? It sold for $29. Right, Rick? And I think it was $1 or 50 cents at an estate sale. So we had it up for Christmas, before Christmas, and just left it up there. So Becky just said she sent a set of towels to a studio in Georgia, but they're not. Yeah, there's so much that films in Atlanta, but just watch out for it on The Walking Dead. See if somebody gets wrapped up in it after they get bit. Yes, Heather, we will send you a link for sure. And yes, Swooped in Seconds, Holly's better late than never, but she's here and just in time to go. And again, if you can, watch out for, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you want to join the Kennel Club, we'd love that too. But thank you again for all the support you guys have given us. We are so happy, and we are, our weights have been lifted, and we are so excited about trying to make the Kennel Club and our YouTube channel even better than they were before, albeit without singing. And we may again. Maybe I'll sing on the Kennel Club just for Sherry. Just because Sherry bought us a latte on buyusacoffee.com. She bought us a latte, so maybe I'll have to sing for my supper or sing for my lattes. So we'll see. Thanks again for all your help or all your support, and we are going to spend this weekend trying to find at least a few things so that next week we can tell you that we listed. I want to show you at least 10 things that we listed from this pile of paper. And if I can get 10 things up there for $10 a piece, that's $100 that I'm going to make off of somebody else's memories. So make some memories of your own, selling the memories that you have. Is that a nice way to end it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Okay, I'm Bad Dog, and that's Good Dog. And again, thanks for all your support, and we are out of here.
I'm going back to the basement.
You're going back to the basement. Whoa.